Okay, good evening, everybody. We're going to call the meeting to order here at 7:01. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, gentlemen, the first item on the agenda is to review the minutes from the previous meeting. You were both sent an electronic copy and have had time to read it. If there are any issues, are we ready to make a motion?
I just got one thing, I had a couple textual stuff, but I'm not gonna bring it up. Saturday I got a call about the drug take back, you talked to you.
This is about the minutes though, right now.
Yeah, well, it's right here in the minutes.
Oh,
The chief
okay,
said,
okay.
at the safety complex from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at 10.
Yeah, it was 10 to 2, yes.
Yeah, so it was some confusion.
Yeah.
Yes. That's all I got. But what's right?
It was 10 to 2, I think it was statewide, I think. I'm not sure if it was statewide, but I thought I saw 10 to 2 at a lot of places.
I just want that noted.
So, okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything. Everything seems good to me.
Entertain a
Motion to accept as presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have a signed copy right here for you, Lil. I'll give it to you. Okay? All right, department reports. Chief, you're up. How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay.
In March, there were 783 calls for service and no burglary. April, we had 653 calls for service. We had one burglary a couple of days ago. We're out on the bypass, about a mile from the Manchester line, small items, a smash and grab type thing. Detective Shabbat's working on leads, but I think that's the only burglary we've had this year.
That's unreal.
The drug take back Saturday from 10 to 2. We collected over 70 pounds of drugs.
70 pounds, yes. And of course, I want to let everybody know, since we're on the video, that they can come anytime in the lobby and deposit drugs in a steel secure box. And anytime, does not have to be the one day a year that we do this, folks. So, okay? That was for the camera. All right, Chief. Anything else, Chief?
Yes, I've been the chief here for 28 years. I'm telling you that this department has the finest and most professional officers of any past and present. And you should be praising them, not trying to fire them.
What makes you think we're trying to fire them?
From things that were said at the poll.
Oh, okay, I wasn't at the poll, so
Well,
I don't know what was said.
All right. Do you have any other questions for the chief, either one of you?
I guess I would ask, since he brought it up after 28 years, do you have any retirement plans? Are you thinking about moving on?
That's my business, not yours.
Well, we have to plan for succession of the department. I would hope that you have, as the chief, as to where this department's going to go in the future.
I'll let you know.
Okay, so at this point, you have no plans.
Yes, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. All right, Chief. Thank you. All right. Lieutenant, your turn.
We just have some actual law enforcement stuff to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
DWI patrol reports were up this month. The weather's turning good. We actually had a lot more motor vehicle activity going around, especially seems to be on the bypass area.
Yep.
Plus we've had a lot of calls already down at Front Park, and we actually had a couple of thefts down at the store there, the Mega X down there. We had a shoplifting in the middle of the day.
Oh, the one on the bypass.
Yeah, which we never usually get. So I think the bypass is going to be our hot issue this summer. So we've kind of already directed officers to spend more time over there. So you might see more cruisers drive around the bypass area, and that's why. Waterworks should start their patrols. They had their summer help Memorial Day weekend, I think, or the weekend right before that. So we should see more Waterworks patrols during the day as well, which will help us out. We got a complaint about motorcycles speeding on Wilson's Crossing. So we've actually directed, again, extra patrols over there as well. supposedly on the weekends, so we'll see how that works out next
Yeah.
month.
Oh, is that one of those DWI patrols that we get funding from the state?
Well, we'll put guys out there on the Saturday mornings and have them spend extra time out there.
But it's not one of the state-funded ones?
No,
Okay.
it's just
We're
regular
gonna-
patrol.
We're gonna put some
No,
extra
they won't
time.
have guys on
Yeah.
weekends, I don't
Okay.
think.
Do we have any of those state-funded ones
We
in
do,
the
but those,
pipeline?
they give you the set days for that,
Yeah.
the safe commute ones are set times, and they
Okay.
give you commuting hours, mornings or the afternoons.
Yeah, okay.
So they tell you the hours, you can't.
Yeah, no, you gotta do it according to whatever the grant or whatever the stipulations are to
Exactly.
get that money.
Yeah.
Okay,
We've had an increase in graffiti and dumping up on Dartmouth again, which had taken a break for a while. We actually called the road agent to take care of some of the dumping stuff. And again, we directed patrols to have extra patrols up there, but I don't know how well that'll
that's at
work
the
out.
dead
It's
end at
tough.
the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your people check the materials that's dumped to see?
We do.
if there's- Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we can identify, but it's all, most of it's landscaping stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wood, it's
Yeah.
a couple of air
Shingles.
conditioners, and somebody
Shingles,
cleaned
yeah.
up. And you'd be surprised sometimes what people drop into what they dump. Yeah, I wanna look at it as nothing.
Lately, we had a bunch of complaints about bears in the north end of town, mostly around the Tower Hill area. We've had, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them, I guess. McAvoy, Morgan Drive, Harvard. I guess in Candia, they had a goat killed or something the other day by a bear. So all Tower Hill. So obviously, just them waking up,
Yep.
Yeah, they're waking up and the bird feeders. are
looking
out.
for bird feeders.
Yeah.
Pistol qualifications with our new pistols are all done except for 4 guys, and we'll do those this week. So that's all done. You shouldn't hear from that again. Pistol qualifications should be all done, and our new guns are out. We're gonna return the old ones,
Okay, so the turnaround's all done,
except for 4 guys. None
except for
done.
the 4 guys, yeah.
Yep, they'll be done. We've been putting out, unofficially trying to find someone we have a vacant position starting in July. We've been unofficially kind of throwing the word around to see if we can find certified officers. I've actually spoken with 3 different certified officers who came over to talk to us, but hasn't worked out so well when they can't afford the pay cut to leave the departments they're at.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been working out so good. So we're gonna put it out to Municipal Association and the Police Academy, but we may end up having to go with an uncertified person, because I don't think we're gonna find a certified person
Yeah,
who wants to come.
of course, if we do the uncertified person, then you got all the training and everything, so you can't
Like
really
8
get to
months.
use them.
Yeah,
You won't get to use them till next year.
It's like 8 months of training.
8 months, so if you hire them for July 1st, you lost 6 months of 18 and the first 2 months of 2019.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can, hopefully you can put some ads, or when do you should be putting those out soon then, huh?
Yeah, I think we already sent one to the Municipal Association, sorry. We're working on it. Look.
When's the
Lil's-
academy
Lil knows
class? Is
about
there
the
an
computer, not
academy
me.
class? Is there an academy
Not
class?
the fall.
Oh, okay, so it's
So
all
we have
done.
till the fall then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mm,
Because it's getting hard to find people too.
yeah.
yeah.
And that's it.
Let's look it up. Motorcycle running?
Yep, we used it once. Calvin said put some miles on it, not a lot, but it's been already running, and we'll be using it again tomorrow.
And how about the bicycle? Have we started
We
using those at all?
have training scheduled for some guy from the bike barn is gonna come and give a class to the officers, so they have some kind of training in it before we just kind of chuck them out there.
Yep,
We have Calvin, Danny, and somebody else are already certified. But the other guy, we want the other guys to at least have a familiarization thing before they're out there.
yeah, good. Okay, any questions for the lieutenant? Alrighty, thank you, Ray. Hello, Steve.
How you doing?
Good, neighborhood watch guy, how you doing?
Very well, thanks.
Yeah, just got the crier in the mail today. I see we still have a nice advertisement in there, and I'd like to see that. Hopefully, the membership will tick up a little bit.
Definitely, I hope if anybody here is not a member, they should actually look at signing up. It doesn't take any time, effort on your part. Just gives you an open avenue to communicate with the police and let people know what's going on in the neighborhood. I encourage you to get involved. You can do it.
Yeah. Last meeting, we talked about a couple signs went missing on my neighborhood. I think, are they still leaning up in the back of the, so at some point, we'd like to see those back reinstalled. I don't know, does Mike do that, or somebody else do it?
I think we have to do it.
Okay, we should get that. And then we were thinking, we were looking at inventory. Do we need signs on other streets, or
All set.
all set?
Yep, they should be up. I'm hoping within, I had guys out on vacation, so
Yeah.
I couldn't really pull anybody away to help me. get
Yeah,
the
no
signs.
problem, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks to have the signs up. Signs in some strategic places. and the signs back.
So besides the two that got removed from my neighborhood, are you having any new signs installed in other neighborhoods?
Bunker
Yes.
Hill, I think.
Yeah?
Yep,
Good?
in the Bunker Hill area.
Okay, good. Terrific. All right. Anything else, Steve?
No, it's been quiet. I like
Yeah,
it
well,
that way.
Yeah,
like he
that's
said, it's been great. Neighborhood watch is really strong in this community.
Well, I think the reason why it's strong is that a few times that when people do make calls about suspicious vehicles, I can honestly say that I even have it on video where the police do respond so fast. I mean, I've had it where people have called, they'll respond within 4 minutes or less.
Mhm.
And that's outstanding. And
Yeah.
Town needs to hear it.
Well, that helps when you have two cruisers on in town. I mean, if one cruiser was way at the other end of town and you only had one and you had to go over there, it wouldn't be 4 minutes. So it's all part of the, you know, the budget process that we started years ago to increase the staffing and whatever. All right, any questions for Steve?
No,
You guys?
it's great to
Okay.
hear, and you're right, it's that responsiveness, and these guys are great about
All right.
getting there. It's cause
They've
and
been
effect.
outstanding,
Yeah.
very professional every time too, from what I've heard.
All right, so at last meeting, Mr. Ralph here brought up 5 issues, and I told him we'd put it on the agenda, and so we'll start with, under old business, A, random drug and alcohol testing policy, proposed policy. Okay, so what would you like to say about that?
Well, in reviewing the union contract, we already actually have a drug and alcohol policy in the union contract. So I think that what we should do is just move forward and establish a drug and alcohol testing program that builds on that for the entire department. It certainly makes sense. Everyone, you know, if you have a CDL, if you have most jobs now, does drug and alcohol testing, so I think it makes sense. It's very simple. It's done by pretty much everyone, so I think it makes sense to have that in there. Like I said, we checked the union contract. There is already a section on drug and alcohol. We just don't have a policy on how it's done. So I think we should move.
What have you researched, Dennis? Have you researched what cost this will be and who's going to bear the cost?
We're gonna bear the cost, but again, I run a drug and alcohol program for my staff, and it's not outrageously expensive. It's basically you
For your staff, do you
join.
mean for the police department, or are
No,
you
for
talking
the
about
public
town?
works
For the
town,
public works.
yeah, and basically it's a consortium that randomly picks people who have to go in for testing during a year, that you decide how many. The DOT says 25 and 50% of your people have to be tested for drug and alcohol each year, and they just send you a notice to send someone out to be tested.
So
You have to test a person before they're hired, and I think that should be part of the hiring policy with the town anyway.
A town
Is-
policy.
Yeah, is before you're hired, and then there's with cause, and then many police departments have it if there's an accident involved with an officer, or if there's a firearm discharge with an officer, then there's a drug and alcohol test. And it's, I mean, in our business, and because Mickey probably does it too, it's just something that you do. You go and you get the test, you know. We all tell them, you got an OP in a bottle.
Who does it for you? Who,
Concentra, right across from Quirk on.
not who physically does the testing, but who determines the testing?
Usually the lab you're in, or if you're in, like we have occupational health
Is this the
in
state?
Portsmouth.
The
No.
state for your CDL?
Yes, feds for your CDL, but they don't run the program, you just go into a program.
Who does ours? Concentra, they call us?
Yeah. And most of the places that where you do the testing, like if you go to a occupational health, they run the program. You just give them the names of your employees, and they say, okay, we're gonna.
And so are you recommending this just for the police department, or the police, fire, and all of the town?
We only control the police department. I would recommend the whole town, but that, I don't control that. I think it's a good policy, and I think the police department, it's just something that we should have. Many places are moving towards it. We thought we were gonna have to negotiate it, but we negotiated it at the last contract, which we forgot, but there there's a section in there.
So what's the cost about, I mean, what kind of cost? We need to have a
Probably
cost
looking $500 to $1,000 at the most.
for a year, an annual?
For a year, yeah.
Okay.
It's not a huge amount.
So you're
And we
saying-
do have a medical line that typically we don't use.
It's all
We
part
used it.
of
It'll all be part of the medical, I would think, line, yeah. Dave has to do that.
Hold on now, hold on, Melissa, you had a question.
Well, one of my questions was, do they come to your office?
No, you
or
go to
there?
them.
So.
You can have people come, it costs
Well,
more.
in this case, so we would go somewhere like Manchester or whatever.
Yeah, whatever
Would
is
you be
the
paying
closest place for you.
No.
Do they get paid to go?
Oh, yeah, you do it on, typically you start your shift and whoever gets picked, you just say, hey, you gotta go get pee tested. And they go and they're back in 30 minutes.
But you're only recommending it for the police department?
That's all I have jurisdiction over here. I would recommend it for everyone. If I were a board of
Yeah.
selectmen, I would recommend it for the entire
Have you brought
town.
it before the selectmen at all?
I have not.
So.
I have no obligation to bring it before the selectmen.
All right.
I would hope they see what we do and then they do it.
Oh, okay. Kevin?
So, you guys are right, it is already in our union contract. I'm the vice president, and obviously you're the president.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's actually a good time to start talking about it, because, negotiations are gonna start shortly. So it's probably a good time to actually implement something. The way the contract reads is the union has to be part of the policy making.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw
yeah.
that. So, this is a good time to start talking about it, and then when we get into negotiations, we can.
Or before, but yeah, the idea is that you people would be involved in how we
At
work
least we'll
it.
have some sort of
Yeah.
outline on how we want to.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And whatever we establish for the union, we'd establish for everybody, so it would be one policy for the whole department. It's-
That actually is with this too, the GPS, so
Same thing.
we'll be talking with them on that too.
Yeah.
So.
So let's,
They'll all be negotiating.
The intent isn't not to have you people involved.
They'll be together.
So the GPS, first of all, my opinion on this drug testing, I think it should be presented to the selectmen, and they should decide whether, in other words, I know what you said, we can't say the fire department has to do it too, but the selectmen run the town. They should have the option of looking into the cost and having the fire department, the police department, and any other town employees that are on the job at random tests. So if we're gonna wait till fall, we've got time to go to the selectmen and run it by them and see if they're willing to do townwide. Just like we did with the MRI study, it was done townwide. So that would be my suggestion, and if they say no, then we'll have to see how it works with the union and funding and everything like that, because we obviously gotta stay within our budget, but that's my opinion.
I wouldn't say it was anybody that drive town vehicles.
Mhm.
That's what we're concerned with.
Yeah, well, it's not only driving, but how about someone that's working in the office? I mean, are they subjected to that as well? Are all employees, I mean, those are questions you have to ask. Is it just a driver, or is it a town employee who's working at the desk and, you know, you get the call, go for a P test, and out you go? I don't know. That's something I think we ought to let the selectmen work on that.
Yeah, I mean, in our policy can literally say it's only for anyone who drives a town vehicle, because I don't know if, well, sometimes
Yes.
you do, right?
I think I require anybody who works for the town.
Pardon me?
Anybody who works for the town.
Yeah, but again, that's beyond
Well,
our
I'm saying
purview.
that-
Yeah.
that maybe-
We're talking about the police department.
Okay.
Scope, should be
Yeah.
scope of everybody, anybody who works for the town.
All right, so listen,
And again, I fully agree.
so what I prepared to do is reach out to Bill Herman in the next day or two and tell him that we discussed this at the meeting, and we'd like him to bring it before the selectmen and see what their viewpoints are on random drug and alcohol testing town-wide instead of just the police department.
Okay,
And then we'll act on, after we get that from them, we can move on. And then before you know, we're gonna be into the fall
Yeah.
with the union.
Okay, yeah.
Is that good?
But we may move along.
You could move along,
Yeah,
but let's
that's
give
fine.
the selectmen a chance to say.
Not a problem.
That we're
That
gonna
sounds
do
good
it
to me.
townwide and do a townwide thing,
Yeah.
okay? Now, with the random alcohol and the GPS, to me, that all falls in the same boat. That's change of working conditions or you're gonna require some input from the union. So,
Well,
Are we in agreement on that one to be included with the alcohol testing, but that GPS would not go to the selectmen? Okay.
No, but I don't see that that's a union issue. That's a management right. And I don't think, as much, I mean, I don't have a problem with working with the union on it. But I think it's a management right that, to whether we have GPS in the vehicles and we use the GPS.
Okay.
I think,
Hold on. Yep.
but the
Kevin?
policy will address, you know, the storage of the material, who has the access and that.
Those are all
that's-
things that would have to
Sit
be
down,
discussed.
Negotiation, who can access it, when it can be used for
I
disciplinary
don't necessarily agree. I don't believe that that is a union issue. Our policy would say, address which vehicles, you know, what the storage of the material is and who has access
We
to
can
it. But
also-
I believe it's a management right and has been established as a management right.
I haven't done any research on other towns
Yeah.
that they've done, but I can say that we can have a union rep come down next meeting, maybe possibly. We can get Rich down here, and he can give you some background.
I don't need to hear you off from your union rep, thank you.
I'm just saying, it's,
And I understand what you're saying and I appreciate it, but
Yep.
no, thank you.
All right, guys. So, all right, so,
Can I just, I'm a little bit,
yeah.
so you're gonna write the policy?
We'll write a policy, yeah.
The
To
police
be
commission-
implemented,
The
yes,
police commission is gonna write a policy on GPS?
right. To be given to the chief for implementation for the department, correct.
Okay.
Gary?
My question is the cost. Why are we gonna spend so much money?
Well, there isn't a big cost because you already have everything in the cruisers. You have air cards, you have GPS units in most of them already. And basically, it's finding a inexpensive software that will track and keep the
What's
information.
causing this subject to come up? I mean, the neighborhood watch people say our response time is quick.
And I agree 100%.
Nobody in the history that I've been here anyway has ever abused where they come and go in a cruiser. I don't understand why all of a sudden.
Well, again, this is an accountability thing to be sure that no one does abuse it. If no one has, then we don't have to worry about it, but it really doesn't have a big cost.
Do you know the numbers on the cost?
Not yet, and that's why we're still working on it.
Is this-
Well, not
is
only
there a
are you gonna-
storage factor too in monitoring through Rockingham County Dispatch?
Rockingham County Dispatch already has their own program for their people.
But wouldn't there be a fee for us to get into it?
Only if we use theirs, but it may not be. We'd have to check with Rockingham Dispatch.
So we got some checking to do. We gotta do some.
I'm
groundwork.
not
There's gonna be
saying that we're
costs.
done.
There's gonna be
But
costs
we're
involved with
getting the
this.
information out.
We talked with Kathy Peel tonight to find out what we can and can't do. That was
Right,
what-
but you
that's
still
what we're
have,
on
you
tonight.
still gotta say, who's gonna do it, how much is it gonna cost? For
Absolutely.
instance,
We have to
who's gonna watch the software or maintain the software in the computer that's gonna store all this data? It certainly can't be privately held, so it has to be in the police station or Rockingham County. And in my opinion, if we were to do anything on that regard, you'd wanna get it through the county if you can, if it turned out to that. But we need the cost, so you should look up the cost of both of you guys and see what it's gonna cost, because you got monitoring software, and then, do you think you're gonna be able to call Lil and say, where was car 4 at 3 o'clock? That information is not just gonna be readily available like that.
Well,
Okay.
it actually is.
Well, you have it in your town, I'd like to.
Well, no, what
Oh,
I'm
you have it on
saying,
your employees, on your vehicle.
they have it, I don't. We have it in all our vehicles.
Okay.
Police department has it, and the chief can look at all his vehicles.
Right, but who can look at it from civilians? No
No,
civilians.
but no, you have to have access, you can't just
Okay.
look at it. We
Yeah.
can decide within the policy
Yeah.
who has access, it's not gonna be
Okay.
open.
So are
to the
you willing to
public.
do the work, a little homework
We
and
would
find out?
Absolutely did, yeah.
Okay, all right, yes.
I just have a question with regards to cybersecurity risks. Have you looked into the cost of that and done a risk assessment of the chance of someone hacking in and finding out where all of the town's?
Well, you gotta be careful, so that's why you have to have a secure
That's
environment.
certainly an
That's
issue,
been
yeah,
considered.
yes, yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
this is not, we're not proposing something that isn't being done by many other departments already, and that's why we're gonna reach out to them.
Yeah,
And
just
see
in
how
terms
they're
of
doing.
cost
All right,
that
yeah.
they pay for
Yeah.
added.
Okay, so we're gonna say that, we're gonna put that down the road a little bit, and we're gonna have to get some information, okay? And I'd like to get some information from Rockingham County if other towns can take part in their GPS
Yeah,
program.
I don't believe other towns are in with Rockingham. I think that they do it on their own.
Oh,
Oh, they have other towns? Oh, okay.
well, then we'd have
check with
to,
them, see what they
okay,
cost.
so who are we gonna have to do that? Would you be able to
Did
look
you
into
already
it for us,
check?
or no? Okay,
Okay.
all right, so we're gonna have to look
You guys are
into,
gonna make these policies, you gotta look into it.
yeah,
And when we pitch the
Now, let me
budget,
explain something to you. You work for us.
I understand that.
We're volunteering to look into this policy, but we could direct you people to look into it for us.
Right, and when I pitch the
So,
budget for all of this.
I understand.
And I argue and nitpick with you for my office supplies, and now you have no idea what this is gonna cost, but yet you want it.
Right, and that's why we're looking into it. The same as you do when you have things that you want. We
Right, we
listen
look into
to
it.
every single issue.
And when the cost comes back and they're gonna say that the cost is, you know, overall, just say, ballpark figure, $8,000 more a year to do something like this,
Yeah,
you'll be okay with that?
I don't know. We may.
Okay.
and then there must be a monthly monitor, there must be a, software, it's like everything else.
I
but-
agree.
All right, so
I
look,
agree.
so we're gonna say the random alcohol and the GPS, we're gonna get more information on.
Right.
Is that correct? Okay, so no action tonight.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
That's right.
All right, any more discussion on that, because I'd like to move to the next issue. Okay, all right, the next one was the potential return of MRI to review completed recommendations. Now, I do know that you went to the selectmen.
You missed the recording.
Oh, okay, excuse me, yeah, let's go to this one. The next one is that guy. Okay, discuss continuation of video recording of meetings. So, we all agree that anybody in the public here can bring a camera.
Absolutely.
The fire chief can, okay. So, now, if you look at page, let's just move on to your thing here, move on to page 5, YouTube views. This last meeting was 404, the one we had in April, 140 to 105. If we had 143 people in this room, we'd need a bigger place to meet. So to say that we had about 20 people there, 25 people, and you had 143 in March, that's 168 people. We would need a bigger meeting place. We wouldn't even be able to meet at the town hall, we'd have to meet at the school gym. So that's my opinion is that's very nice. I've got to forget that it's even there. It's been a year, almost a year now. And it's just transparency, it's transparency is what it is. In fact, one of your campaign signs was transparency, to be transparent. That's as transparent as you get, so I got nothing to hide. If you guys are against it, then what is it that you have that you want to hide from there? Why don't you like it?
Can you tell me all those hits from Auburn?
I don't know where they came
You
from.
can't tell. They
Yeah, I don't
could be
think so.
California, could be anything.
I don't think that April number is realistic in any way. You have to look at what they were in the past.
I can literally show you, and
Well-
I happen to know that,
That's fine, but again, I'm looking at what we had in the
it only
past.
counts each computer.
Hold on, guys.
once.
She has the floor.
So you click on it on your computer, it counts it as 1. You click it on your computer, it counts it as 1. You go back and click on it again, it still only counts as the 1.
Oh, so somebody, okay, so that's a good point. Somebody can't be sitting at home and hitting it 30 times and making the count go up. Okay, because I think that was maybe something in someone's mind. Yes?
RSA 91A allows me to sit here and record this. I will be here every meeting.
Yes, you can, but what the issue is gonna be is, can we allow it to be put on the town website? Now, right now, since we all
On the town
agreed,
website.
it goes on the town website.
No, it doesn't.
I'd like it to continue
Not
to go
yours,
on the
this
town.
one.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, that, I would like it to continue, because, hey, that's what transparency is about. I've got nothing to hide. Yes.
We also have a lot of people that I know from the neighborhood watch group, a lot of elderly people that can't make it to this meeting. A lot of people who work down in Massachusetts can't make it up here in time for the meeting. They want to hear what's going on, and we're gonna take that away from them. I mean, they've been sitting here listening to it. They enjoy hearing what's going on, and what it seems to me is that we have people now that are saying, hey, you know, we run for an office to be the voice for the community, but I don't want that voice to be heard. That sounds ridiculous to me. It sounds absolutely
No,
ridiculous.
I agree.
Hold on, let him talk.
Yeah,
I'm in
no,
charge
I
of the
agree.
meeting. Excuse me, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree, but when the chief talks, it should be on the chief. When Ray talks, it should be on Ray. And when you talk, it should be on you. When somebody asking a question in the back, you can't hear it.
But they always know who they're talking to because he announces exactly when he's talking to me about neighborhood watch. Everybody knows that they're talking to me. When he's talking to the chief, everybody knows that they're talking to the chief. And I think what it is, people are a little bit concerned about certain behaviors that have occurred here in the past at some of these commission meetings. And you know what? I think that people should have a right to see and what goes on in these meetings.
Little takes
Okay.
good minutes.
All right, anybody else? Yes, Dennis?
I'm signed up for the town as far as all the agendas and all the, in other words, if there's gonna be a meeting, I get the agenda. I get to see the agenda on my computer. And then, when the minutes are ready, the minutes come through on the computer, so I get the whole meeting. I get the agenda, and I get everything that happened during the meeting. Everyone, the ZBA, the planning board, the police commission, you can read it all. I mean, all you have to do is call the town hall and ask people.
Hold on, one person at a time. Okay, go ahead.
It does add to the level of transparency. And perhaps when you're talking to Mr. Herman about common policies, we could talk about having this about some of the other departments.
Yeah, well, that was what when we first started this, it was a pilot thing. And we said we try it and we'll see if the other departments want to do it. But in my opinion, we've had a lot of views, and it goes way back. We had 265 views back of May of 17, so there's been a good history of views. And I just like the idea that a lot of other people can be in on our meeting from a remote site. And like I said, if they were all here, we need to be at the school. And I think that's amazing. Yes, Steve?
Yeah, we do get the minutes, but you don't also hear a lot of the conversation that goes around those
Yeah,
minutes.
now
You only
speaking,
get certain details, you don't get the full
Doesn't
conversation.
matter to me if it's there or not.
But it does to a lot of other, but it does to a lot of other
Bringing up a
people.
point
no,
that's
okay, guys,
done.
that's enough. No back and forth, please, okay? All right, so,
They can't pick it up on YouTube.
Pardon
They
me?
can't pick it up on there, because they can't hear you.
I don't understand what you're saying.
he said like I reviewed the tape, it's hard to hear somebody like if Mr. Ralph was saying something, it's hard. I would have to say, okay, step up, what's your name, and come closer so that the microphone would pick you up. I haven't got to that yet, because I haven't had any comments. But if it would turn to that, there'd be nothing to say, you got something to say, come up, step over there and talk, or talk over here. Yes, Mike?
We could put more microphones so that.
Well, we talked about that, but we didn't want to spend money for that, but Dennis knew a company that would come in and set the room up for that. But we wanted to do it just kind of, you know, home style, do it ourselves, put it on the site. I can't fathom to think of getting rid of it, because I've got nothing to hide, and the whole town ought to hear it. I'm an elected official in the town, and I want them to see what my plan is and what my attitude is about things. Yes, Mike?
Maybe home style's the problem, and it should be a little more professional.
Well, could be. We would need a better quality sound and better video. All you see is us. It'd be nice to pan out, and that takes a lot. That takes a lot of work, and I think there's some, I don't know about rules and stuff, but anything else? Okay, so
I mean,
any more comments on that?
Well, I'll just throw mine in, because I was always against it. And I continue to be against it, because then you have the issue like we have tonight, which is when you stop. You know, now all of a sudden, everyone gets upset because you're gonna stop. I don't see these numbers as being earth-shaking until we said we weren't gonna do it anymore. And then we had 404 hits. We've never had 404 hits. So I think what we've proved is that when we generate controversy, we tend to increase our watchability. But when we're just doing business, we're looking at 31, 66, 58.
Oh, those are good numbers.
They're not good numbers. It's very low.
Let's roll in 68 people in here, please, and let's see where they're all going to sit.
I would love them to come in.
They're not going to fit.
But I would love them to come
Can
in.
you tell me if they're from Auburn, Dave? Because I had a friend at Deerfield that come along and said, oh, I just watched your YouTube. Didn't know they were on there.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, and all you gotta do is click on it, and there it is.
Well,
So I'll motion that we stop filming them. I have no problem with the public filming them. I have, and that, but again, I just don't see it as
being for the best interest of the whole
So-
town. I think it's just one
Okay.
more divisive issue
Alright, so-
that we've thrown in between
So
us.
are you making a motion?
I'm making a motion.
Okay, so I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, Ray.
We can
So-
finish filming tonight.
So the film that's being done here, the department owns none of the equipment,
Mm-hmm,
and Melissa turned it on tonight, who's not being paid to be here.
mm-hmm.
There's no recording of the actual meeting put on the town site. There's a link to YouTube put on the town site. But physically, this tape is never put on to the town site.
Yep.
We could get rid of the YouTube link. Is that what you're voting for?
Yeah, as long, if
So
it's
the
not
camera
the
and the
town's
recording.
equipment, if it's in the.
all good.
the
Hold on,
town
we have to
employees,
clarify.
as
You
long gotta as take it off it's the town public. site.
We
That's what he
wouldn't-
said.
it's not on the
All you
town
do is
site,
you
it's just a link.
Take out the link. That's fine.
Do
Okay.
you mind, do you want, can the link stay?
No.
Oh, you don't want the link either, okay. So if he records it, he's
Yeah,
gonna have to find his own venue to put it on.
And I think what Ray is saying is, this one may still be running, but it's
Yeah.
not gonna be, it's not sanctioned by this
It
board.
wouldn't go on the website of the town site as a link. We get rid of that.
Mhm.
The
You
YouTube
can
site
find
is
it on the
actually,
YouTube if
is
they
already on
want.
there.
That's
People can still go
fine.
to YouTube and watch it. They can look at the link
Absolutely.
that's gonna be on the community sites and everything else and just.
They'll have to go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so to clarify, the motion not only was to discontinue the recording, but also to not allow the link on the town website. Right. So why don't you amend your motion to say that, because they're two different things.
So stated.
Okay.
I'll second it.
And I'm still opposed, so. Okay. Okay, now we'll get into the MRI review, okay? And let me state that, I guess at a prior selectman meeting, maybe last week, or I don't have the right date, but it was discussed. Oh, yes,
Before we move on, sir, I don't think the police commission has the right to tell the town what they can have linked on their town webpage or not.
well, that'll be up to the selectmen to
That's
decide.
Selectmen, not the police
Yeah.
commission.
Yeah, yeah, that should, we should let the town, let the selectmen figure, but from the police commission standpoint, they don't want it on there. Now, the selectmen can take a look and say, we've got no right to do it, they'll be up to them.
Yep, okay.
And
Thank
so,
you.
we'll have
I
to, they'll need a
believe their
second thing.
policy is that they don't link to private citizens' websites. I mean, that's the issue, really. But you're right. They make the policy.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the MRI thing, so I guess selectmen had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, I don't know the right date, and I guess they said they felt that they were happy to let the managers of each department, or those in charge of each department, take care of the MRI, and they were not interested, unanimous, of spending any money from the town to have them come back and recheck that you did the recommendations, okay? Now, so with that
You weren't
said,
able to get the money out of them, Dave?
what's that?
You weren't able to get the money out?
No money.
Not this
No
time.
money. And do you know how much it would cost?
No, but there is, my understanding is there's a letter coming, so.
I know how much
Will-
it would cost, I did some homework.
No,
I
no.
asked Bill to reach out to Al Gould,
Yeah.
who's the director of MRI.
You have a
It's
letter
gonna be-
from them?
I don't have a letter, just a verbal thing, it's $3,000 to $4,000, that's on an hourly rate, okay? And
To review
to come in and do it and double check it all. But I would say, we can't afford $3,000 to $4,000 at all. We should, if you're really concerned about all the numbers, and I know Ray did them over a year and a half, the lieutenant would be willing to come in on another meeting that we could have, at least he told me previously you would, and he'd review every one by one, because he did like one meeting, he did 10, then another meeting, he did 8. So over a year or so, he did them all. We could have a 4 or 5 hour meeting, and he could go over every one and tell you once again and do it, and we could save $3,000 or $4,000. Or say the selectmen were right, the department heads will take care of the implementation, like the fire chief will do his, and the police chief will do his, and we don't have to go and check on them and spend some money to check that these things were done. So with that said, what would you like to say, either one of you?
I'd just soon table it until we can see the correspondence from MRI.
Okay. You want to table it?
Yeah, till next month, though.
Mickey?
Yeah, that's fine.
Table it, okay,
Table it.
all right, table that. And, we're good. That's the end of our business on all the old business. So, under new business, I don't have anything to say under new business.
No,
Oh, we have an evaluation. Where did oh, we got that, but after the new business. Oh, new business was the evaluation. Does anybody have any other comments before we do the evaluation? Okay, why don't we do that, and then it'll be the end of our meeting.
We both,
Oh, I have not seen that one yet, so.
oh, I mean, we just initialed down
They're taking anything here for the minutes, okay? You have the minutes right here, signed.
Oh.
Just so you know.
there. What's the number? 377?
Grade 7.
3711.
But that is the right step, right?
Correct.
Dennis, you usually do them, so you might just get this done. Dennis is usually pretty good.
Yeah, he's good at that.
Okay,
Based on satisfactory, do I have them both? I'm missing one. Or is it-
no, they're both in there.
Based on his satisfactory performance review, I'll motion that Officer James Heward go from, get the step increase from his labor grade 7, step 11 to labor grade 7, step 12.
Okay. Second? Looking for a
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, James. Okay, with that said, and nobody said they had any other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:43 PM.
Good, thank you.
All right.
Thank you all.
Adjourn. Thank you.